Hey y'all, this is Zenosis and this is part 33 of the very special challenge. Maybe it's only 32, you know. I'm pretty certain that we recorded 31 the previous session that we did yesterday and stuff like that, so yeah. Now the thing is though, is that in these two machines, there is some really big geek rewards you can get, but I believe the biggest ones aren't available yet. Because 100 I know exists. So like the boss I've seen 100, I've seen 150, I've seen 300. I do remember later when you can like see stuff like 500. Stuff that I don't think there was 1,000 though. But it's just that certain percentage is very low. But I know that the different machines have a different amount. Like one of the machines will have easier to get certain things and stuff like that. And I don't remember which one gives the most, and stuff that, Because here's the thing, right? Even if you receive only one GP, for example, 1 GP 10 times is cost still 10 GP and stuff like that, but you need like, 10 when you play the thing. Of course, it is entirely possible to to get 1,000 and stuff like that, right? Within very little time and stuff like that, but yeah. The thing is not the 3 times speed is so helpful here because of how slow it is normally and stuff like that. And you have to remember that doing this back in the day on the PlayStation version, on the disc and stuff like that, right, was really annoying to get only less on this one because this was only the real choice. Unless you were insanely good, you could use, of course, a turbo controller with arm wrestling, and that could work, of course, obviously, but you could also get good at the basketball. And I know that there are people out there that are ridiculously good that they know exactly how long to hold down the button. But there's also a way to program that into a controller, which I believe you could use on the PlayStation. But there's a program basically that you could take a key, you could make that program into the controller or whatever, or you took it up to the PC, because of course there was no internet connection or whatever, right? So I think it was a program that you could hook up on the PC, and then you could make it do a certain press, so you could make it have a certain delay before it does the button press, and then you would basically be able to make it so that it presses the button after a certain amount of time. Then you start the basketball and have it just press a certain button automatically, right? And I believe it never changes, right? When you play the basketball, it doesn't change, so that you can still do the same input over and over and still get things, I'm gonna take you have 63 GP, okay, good. So now we have 63 GP right now. I would want to go with 1,000, but I know that generally 300 could already be enough. But 600 would be nice, of course, obviously. Now the way that you usually destroy the battle arena is having certain things equipped. Generally speaking, you would want to have a better, if you have several added effects, then that's really good, because then you can have a bunch of different defenses. But we of course never got added effect to be mastered, because the added effect required a lot, right? Yeah. Because that's still needs 68,216 there. Elemental is still far away there. And stuff that's, yeah. Yeah, you need to hold forward and then next basically to get it. I kind of wish that there were a protection here that they had, so that you would always see what the reward is before you could press X and remove it, right? So you cannot spam. Yeah, because you don't need to press X an extra time there, you only need to press X to get rid of the window there. Because he doesn't press it earlier. Or it kinda seems like he does. Let me do it without pressing. Yeah, that seems to be a way longer way there. Now it's me mashing it, and then it seems to come earlier. There's only 100 this time, of course, obviously, but yeah. Now we could like spend like a really long time here. Like if you get unlucky here, you can spend a really long time. Right. And I've had times when I don't need to spend very long time here at all. There have been times when I've spent like only like 20 minutes doing this and stuff there, which you know is pretty crazy. That it requires insane luck because yeah. There are like some really good keepy hits you can get. And yes, while it's usually very low chance, there's a bunch of like low chance rewards. Like I forgot if both of the machines, because both of the machines have different stats on them and stuff that. And I think that there's one more machine that becomes playable later on and stuff that, because one of these NPCs don't stay here. Like I guess like life happened or something like that and they went bankrupt. I forgot to check what that was though. But it's very easy to get 99 potions from this. And I believe actually once you have 99 potions, for example, but only if the 99 potions you earn is from this specifically, is that then you have a higher chance to start getting all the other stuff. Same thing with once you require 99 liters specifically from the minigame itself, like you cannot have a single liter beforehand, you know. Now, of course, it would have been cool, right, if they could have made it so that potions transform into GP, like the GP amount that they would give you, like in Chocobo Racing, because there is a specific GP amount connected to each reward. So if it is a potion as a reward, it is a certain amount of GP for the potion, which is actually bigger than 1 GP actually from the potion itself, I believe. Usually though, once you get a big reward from one of them, you either need to stick with the same machine and the next big reward will happen pretty soon after, or you might need to switch the machine. It depends. You know, sometimes you can get all the lucky stuff from one machine in a very short period of time once you get the first big one. But sometimes you're meant to switch machine as soon as you get the first big one. There's also a strat where you, as soon as you get the didn't get anything, then you move on to the next mile to the other machine. Because if I remember correctly, actually that now there's of course one accessory you cannot get on disc 1, I'm pretty certain, unless I think you can actually steal it somewhere or there's something you can morph into it, because that is the amulet accessory, which becomes viable in the deal. And that one is pretty insane because that is plus 10 luck. Luck is actually the strongest stat in the entire game. Like it's even stronger than dexterity, because here's the thing, right? Dexterity gives you dodge, right? So you can have dodge chance, but even with max dexterity, and even if you were quick mistyle, you won't have maximum dodge or the highest dodge chance. To get that, you need to have very high luck. With very high luck also, you won't only like dodge more stuff, but you will also be able to block, you will also be able to explain this, you will be able to crit more, even if you're using a weapon that, for example, like with Death Blow, you can make it so that it's like every weapon has a 255. When it comes to the Death Blow accuracy, you can basically make it so that Death Blow always hits. Stuff that if you get high enough luck, if I remember correctly. But the thing that makes the Vincent's death penalty so good is if you start using Vincent early and you exclusively never remove Vincent from your party, you make sure that you always bring Vincent with you. And you allow Vincent to get the majority of the kills. The thing is just that Vincent's death penalty is really good when morphing, because the thing is, like if you want to like kill emerald weapon in one hit, then yes, you're gonna need to farm. Use so many kills, like it's unrealistic the amount of kills you need to get. Like even once you have sneak attack and you have slash all and Vincent kills everything in one hit. It's going to happen, but yeah. So you get sneak attack, you master sneak attack, and then you use slash all the Vincent. Stuff that. And you farm kills. And then basically, eventually of course you will be able to. But the amount of kills that you need is just so many that even if you go with 3 times speed on and you get into battles very, very quickly and you have a lot of like enemy lures and stuff like that, right? I think it will still take a long time to use some Mega Elixir there. Because the Mega Elixir is actually a very, very low percentage. 90 potions already. Yeah, but Mega Elixir is crazy though, by the way. Mega Elixir is actually more rare than the highest GP points thing. Like Mega Elixir is not even a 1%er, if I remember correctly. Because that's the whole thing with this, like there's all things that are less than 1% in this. So 1% of the 99 potions. You will still be able to see the potion pop up, but the potion won't give you any GP, but at that point it becomes higher chance to get the correct things. 57 potions. 98 potions. 99 potions. Let's see here if this changes. But yeah, I believe now it will actually change to like decrease the chance of getting potions, but maybe not. On there you need some plasma. Because here's the thing, that even if you get the 1 GP and the 3 GP, that will still add up eventually, because get the 1 GP 10 times and that's 10 GP, get the 3 GP 10 times and that's 30. Do it 100 times, of course, and the 1 GP becomes 100 GP. Get the 3-1 like 100 times, then that's 300 GP. Stuff that, so that's something to think about, you know, that you can still get it even if you get very, very unlucky. It's just going to take a very long time. You see, we're getting the 3 GP pretty often now. Now, I don't know technically if you would have luck material if this actually affected it, you know, or whatever, right? And I know kinda when I'm gonna go over to the other machine. I think I do remember my strat, because it is 100% confirmed that some of the result on one machine can affect the other. Other people might say that, oh, it's just RNG, but that is bullshit, because I've had times when I played a certain amount of the machine until I got certain rewards, and then I switched to the other one, and the other one all of a sudden gave me like insanely good rewards very, very quickly. I think it's either going to be, if the GP reward, if you get 50 GP, then I'm not gonna switch. But for example, if we get something like 300 GP or the 500 GP one, so I don't know if it's even available yet and stuff that, right? But yeah, it's either gonna be that, or once we get the next Mega Elixir, or if we get an Elixir even, stuff that, I might switch. But yeah, because the Mega Elixir is so damn rare. Stuff that if you get 2 Mega Elixirs in a reward, then I feel like the big GP is not gonna be on this machine. Because the thing is that both of the machines can give you the big GP rewards, but generally speaking, I feel like if you get, for example, like 2 Mega Elixirs from the same machine, before you get a big GP reward, then you're not going to get the big GP reward on that machine anytime soon. Like, it's going to be such a low chance, because if you statistically get 2 mega elixir, and 2 mega elixirs is basically less than a 1% chance, and all of the geek rewards that are high are higher than that, then that literally means that it is very, very unlikely that you're going to get a high geek reward from the one machine, which is why you would then switch over to the other one. You see, we're getting the 3 GP very often, actually. I'm guaranteed to already be over 100, by the way. So we switch if we get a mega elixir. We might switch if we get an elixir, but it depends on when we get them. When we get the elixir, of course, obviously. I'm really hoping for the 150 GP at least, you know, and stuff that they're not so lucky just for the 50 GP, you know. There's still a lot of potions, sadly. Or if the potions just got converted into GP, that would have just been too effective. Because from Chocobo Racing, right, the potion still gives you quite a lot of GP and stuff that, you know. Because I'm pretty certain that it will be more than 1 GP. I think it will be 3 GP. So that then all of those potions that you will get will be 3 GP instead, you know. Eventually we're either gonna get, like, yeah, you see ethers more often now as well. And 1 ether is of course a big win, because 1 ether is worth like 750 gil, so that is already paying back itself. And stuff that considered this costs 100 each time. And stuff that then 750 is from 1 ether basically. And even the potions, right? Well, the potions sell for way less than 100, so the potion is like really, really bad to get. So how many ethers? Huh? Eh? But is that elixirs? The ethers are elixirs. Because you see, there is no ether up here. Type? Yeah, because ethers would show up here. Or is it Phoenix Downs? It's just typed wrong. I know that there is certain of the rewards that are sometimes typed wrong. I mean, I'm pretty certain that we hadn't used up any of our elixirs in any of the fights, maybe only 1. So it's either the elixir or it's the Phoenix Downs. Actually, let's see here. Oh, wait, how much? 181k. Actually, let's switch to the other machine here. Can we just... No. We just need to hold it to the north here. We can hold now like diagonal and left, and then we can get it every time here. Eventually we do want to go to the save point and keep doing this, you know, stuff that, because yeah, I don't want to record too long of this, because this can get very, very boring here. The fact though that we had 180 without even getting one of the big rewards is pretty crazy. But you can realize how long this takes, right? if you're used to running at normal speed. But maybe it's also like the rewards aren't worse when you're running the quicker speed. That could also be the case. Because sure, you need luck and stuff that, but if you spend enough time here, you know, stuff you're eventually going to get the big rewards. And of course, it's just so much easier to do on disc too. And the people who say that, oh, it's not worth it, right? But here's the thing, right? If you're going to take things slow, right, and if you're playing the game the first time, right, the people who say that, oh, the Omni Slash is not worth it because the amount of bosses that you get to use Omni Slash on. Okay, so first off, if you get it at the earliest possible points, then yes, you can use it. You can use this against wraps if you don't go and do the VII beforehand, which is entirely possible, of course, obviously. And then yes, you could get to use also Omni Slash versus Red Dragon. You get to use Omni Slash versus Demon Wall. So you get to use it against wraps if you do the VII side quest. You get to use it against Red Dragon, Demon Wall. You get to use it against Schizo, of course, and then against, you know, Death. And then once you have the High Wind, you still need to go to get back Claude, of course, obviously. Stuff that. And that means that once Claude is back, of course, that's when the gold saucer will be open again. So you might say, oh, it's not worth it for the bosses, but it is still worth it because even though the Omni Slash is way easier to get later on, because of the gear that you can have and stuff that, right? Like it's way easier after the Temple of Ancients, for example, because then you can have the Dragon Armlet. And the Dragon Armlet, right, does not have the highest like defense values or whatever, but the thing with the Dragon Armlet that makes it good is the fact that it has a lot of common elements, right? It doesn't like nullify like the Escort Guard and like the Minerva band for the females, stuff that, you know. But the thing is just that the Dragon Armlet, like halving elements, I feel is better than nullifying. Like, because Fire Armlet only nullifies one thing or absorbs one thing. Same thing with the Cold Armlet or like Aurora Armlet, I believe it's called. It's not actually called, you know. I do think that they could have done that with all of the armlets instead of just calling it like Fire Armlet, like Bolt Armlet. Like the fact that the cold one is called Aurora Armlet, you know, and stuff that makes sense. You know. And they could have made like an interesting name for the Fire one, you know, and stuff that, you know. They could have called it Corona Armlet after like the Sun Coronas and stuff that, you know. They could have called it, what else could have called it? They could have called it Napalm Armlet, you know, or stuff like that, you know. Like holding this direction is way more annoying holding the diagonal and up, especially on this like D-pad. What's 3 minutes? I know there's always going to be people who will say that it's not worth it and stuff that, you know, but it's, you know. It's just that sure it is harder to get now and stuff that, right? And when you got this legitimately back in the day, like you had to like save of course beforehand, so you often had to make sure that you got enough GP. And that was the main problem, right? That you're getting enough GP and then like what did you go for? Did you go for any of the other stuff at all? Because enemy lure is very good if you want to grind, for example. Now of course if you know about the grind spots, by the way, like maybe you only knew about the Yuna alarm because that was something that you could just figure out very early on. Figure it out without any sort of guide whatsoever, that you could just hit the Yuna alarm. Because that was just very obviously that that's a switch, you know, that you can hit and stuff that, because yeah. And then when you figure out that, oh, it's like these two enemies. And then the thing is, the beta is also fairly easy to get from Midgard Solomon and stuff that, because yeah. Potion, potion, nothing, no wonder capture. The thing is, it would have been so good if it was actual ethers instead of being elixirs, because elixirs can be sold for anything. But maybe it would be switch more on to get the mega elixir from here as well. But I think there is a very high chance that the mega elixir would instead be the big GP reward, one of the big GP rewards. But there are also certain GP rewards, like the 51 for example, that aren't particularly bad percentage-wise. There's one of the GP rewards I still think that is like 5 or 10% or whatever. Yeah, I know that that's not very high, but comparison to like the mega elixir, how low the percentage of the mega elixir is, you know, stuff that is, you know. Of course, I definitely think that they should have also had something where you can trade in certain items for GP, but those would only be items that you can actually get for GP. So that, for example, you could like turn the mega elixirs into GP if you have a bunch of mega elixirs and things with elixirs. But then they will have a special marking so that the game will know which ones you've gotten from like the wonder catcher and stuff like that. It will only allow you to trade the items that you can get from wonder catchers. Or maybe also from the chocobo racing and from just, you know, stuff like that, right? You will be able to get a certain amount of GP for them, you know. But that would probably making GP too easy, you know, stuff like that, you know. Because I know that 300 is kind of the minimum that you need, but it depends on if you're gonna fail or not, you know. I think that green thing there is not supposed to be an armband. I think that's supposed to be a clock or something like that, because that's probably the precious watch that you can earn in chocobo racing. The precious watch is interesting because the precious watch have really crappy stats on it. However, it has a lot of slots on it and stuff like that. Now the chocobo bracelet though is completely different. The chocobo bracelet is actually kind of like an ultimate armor. I would say like the stats on it is not super great. It's like the stats just the defense and the magic defense and stuff like that. But I think it's the chocobo bracelet is like, I think it's 30 plus dexterity, and then there's another stat. I think it's 30 plus dexterity, 20 plus luck, I think it is. And it's just on its own and stuff like that, so that's like absolutely insane. You know? But no, I didn't get to see what that was on the Phoenix Down. Just so that Phoenix Down didn't count as a Phoenix Down. Now we got 4 ethers all of a sudden. Huh? Is that a bug then? Was that why the ethers didn't show up? Or is the Phoenix Downs ethers? The Phoenix Downs that we've been getting are those ethers, and the actual Phoenix. So the actual ethers, when we got ethers, that was actually Phoenix Downs. But then now when we're getting Phoenix Downs, we're actually getting ethers. 43 GP. I mean, you could technically, if you really wanted money, you don't need to have super high money when you go in here, because of the fact that, yes, as you can see here, for example, 20 GP is on ether, right? And it costs 100 GP to play, and 1 ether is supposed 750 mil, which, you know, is really pretty decent. So that means, of course, for 200 GP you can get what is it? Is it only 10? I think it's only 10 ethers. But 10 ethers, of course, is 7,500. So, you know, it's not the best conversion value or whatever to money, you know, and stuff like that. But yeah. But I mean, if you want to grind ethers, you just grind that grind spot. And then the hunter enemies, they have a very high chance of giving you ethers. The most I've seen in a fight is actually 2 ethers from 1 fight. It's absolutely insane, because you can just go there and then you can just grind infinite money, basically, pretty much. I would want to have at least 500 before I would start the battle arena, though. At least 500. Probably. It's the Phoenix Down. We can actually check now. It's 5 ethers now, it's 5 ethers, and it's still only 4 Phoenix Downs. That means that Phoenix Downs are ethers, and the ethers are Phoenix Downs. I'm gonna show you that because once we have an ether pop up, you're gonna see that the Phoenix Down count will have gone from 4 to 5. Keeping a lookout here, like immediately when we see an ether, I will just go and check, and then you will see that would be 5 Phoenix Downs once we get an ether. An ether shouldn't take that long. It's keep giving us 3 Geepy though, that's fine. 3 Geepy is just so much better than just getting 1. Okay, but then what is the elixir? Oh, an elixir is an elixir because we were at 5, yeah, but elixir is elixirs. No, that's just... Elixirs are still elixir, mega elixir is still mega elixir, but you know... Imagine though if the Wonder Cats you could have had all the limit breaks in it or something like that it's just like very, very rare, and then you use for the, you know... You're the 3 Geepy though. So yes, you can gain infinite black elixirs here as well, pretty much, but the northern like snowfields are better, or you know those snowfields. So. And there were at one point where you were meant to lose areas so much later and stuff like that. But then why didn't they go for that in the remake? Go for losing areas at the later point. The fact is that not only does she have dialogue for the snowboarding section, but she also has a dialogue in fucking Fort Condor during the huge materia quest. That's a Phoenix Down. Yeah, and that's 6 ethers now. That's 6 ethers now, so Phoenix Downs are ethers. But why would they do that? Like, why would they do that? I'm pretty certain that was not a thing in the PlayStation version. 100 GP, let's go! Yeah, there's the 100 GP reward. Okay, so we're sticking with this machine. We know that 100 GP is at least in this machine. And that because I do think, right, that it says somewhere that the machines do not have the same GP rewards, that one of the machines have a higher. Okay, that's Phoenix Down. Yeah, I mean, that's another ether. Okay, good. But it's so weird, why would they all of a sudden code it wrong? Because I'm pretty certain in the PlayStation version, Phoenix Down and the ethers are not switched. I mean, but they really did get the 100 GP there, which is nice, of course. It's not the best reward. I mean, it is still better than the 50 GP reward, but it's still not like the fucking 300 or whatever, which I'm pretty certain that you should already be able to get at this point. But of course, once you can do Chocobo racing, for example, there's never any point in playing these at that point, because Chocobo racing is just easy enough to win. And stuff like that. The main problem, of course, is that... Oh, that's another 100 GP there. You saw there the thing I said there with that once you get 100 GP, getting the second like big one usually comes very quick after another, you know, stuff like that. So that's really, really good. So that's like 200 GP within very, very short time. I do not want to stop. I want to get as much as GP as possible, basically, to black. That's of course the Phoenix Down is another ether. Because I mean, if we could get 1000 GP, then that would be really, really good. Because the thing is, I would want to try and get all of the rewards pretty much in the battle arena, not just Omni Slash. I want to get the enemy lure specifically. The primitive is also insanely good. Because if we can get primitive strikes, then that means you will basically get back attacks on the enemies. The back attacks on the enemies are not only very, very powerful for the whole, you know, killing them, but it is also very powerful because of the fact that you can escape more easily from a primitive. Primitives are actually very, very quick to escape from usually. Stuff that, you know. And use primitives can just make you like completely safe against most of the battles in the game, because if you have mastered primitive, then the chance for them to back attack you is going to be very, very low. Because it also makes it basically so that if you master the primitive, then you will just have such a high chance to get primitive that I don't think that you can get back attacked anymore. But I think that the one primitive master is not enough. I think you need to have 2 primitives mastered to be able to avoid it. Not so yet. About 35 minutes. I mean, I would like to see the bigger gear reward. I know that there's a 500 that probably should be available already. Stuff there, because yeah, on the 500 one is again very, very, very low chance. I'm also pretty certain that the 2 machines have different gear rewards to them and stuff that, you know. Also, when it's disc 2, basically it's off the high one. After you get the high one, is when things changes on the world map. Because that's what caused when Meteor is released. But the thing is, I don't think they did enough with the map, to be honest, because it's not like in Final Fantasy VI how the whole fucking world got fucking destroyed. I can understand, right, because if we all of a sudden would have lost access to certain towns, that would have felt really bad. But imagine how many more weapons there would have been in the game if every single shop now had new weapons completely and stuff like that, you know, instead. And sure, there would be shops that still had some old weapons, but imagine if every single town had like new weapons to them. Music King, 510 GP. Yeah, so let's switch to the other one. Because maybe we're only going to get that 100 GP twice. But then, whenever we get the big GP from this machine, then there's a very, very high chance we will be able to get the big GP again from this machine. Of course, if the first thing we receive from this machine is a Mega Elixir, then that still means that we have a 80 GP, okay? That's not the best, but it's actually... So that means that the 80 GP is in this machine and not in the other machine, because I think that it is not always the same. I think that the 80 GP can change, that sometimes it can be in the other machine, sometimes it's in this machine. And I forgot if it resets every time you like do a hard reset. And a hard reset is you know, like exiting actually out of the game and stuff like that properly, and not just quitting to the title screen or whatever, but actually a full exit of the game. Because 80 GP is still good, like I mean, and if we can get 80 GP again here, that would be good. There have been times when I played up to a lot of GP and then I got like extremely lucky, because the highest I've seen is the 500 GP reward. It's the highest I've seen, and I'm pretty certain that that is still available on this one. But it might be later, like after Temple of Wings, and that might be a thing. Maybe I should have switched off the 80 there. If we don't get the 80 soon, then maybe it's time to switch already. I'm pretty certain on AI, if you allowed an AI to analyze these machines, the catcher, and if you collect the data from like 1 hour, and it will be able to like see what the rewards are, you know, very, very clearly. It will be able to figure out the percentage chance of everything and stuff like that, you know. Yeah, we switch it fairly quickly there. Stuff up there, of course, yeah. You should always switch once you get a rare thing. Or a thing that counts as being rare. Both the elixir is very rare, Mega Elixir is very rare. 80 GP isn't super rare, by the way. It's actually one of the easier GP things to get. Same thing with 100 GP. 100 GP isn't super rare either. So that was just a bit sad, you know, how long it took for us to get the 100 GP and stuff like that, you know. How long? Okay. But how much? I think that would be enough, actually. That'll do, donkey. That'll do. The question is not what is my material setup gonna be like. If we do a pacing, we do have all of these. We do have shock off it, of course. Now, obviously, the gem ring gives us a lot of different ones. Because I know we can use that as an effect, for example. We could give ourselves an effect and then like we could give ourselves transform and then we will get minion torque protection without needing to use white cape. But if we go time, we will have guard both against slow and stop. But stop isn't an immediate like lose, you know, once if you get stopped. It just depends on what enemy you're up against when you get stopped, of course, obviously. Of course, the machine is not broken down yet, by the way. It happens only after the keystone, basically, pretty much. And it's how much to save here? I guess I'm stuck, babe. I don't really want to be doing the grind now, by the way. So maybe it was completely unnecessary to save there and stuff like that. But we're actually going to continue on now. We're not going to do that yet. Because I always want to do it off screen because we are going to be using the sleeping method instead. Because the main problem with doing the lead method is sometimes you can cause completely fucked over with the handicaps. Now, there is a very easy way to just beat most of the handicaps, and that is if you get the correct status restoring material or status restoring things. Yes, you can have you can have like the heal equipped, for example. You can have heal equipped here, for example, because you have a zoom on that, and you can also cast like resist. Although I forgot exactly how long does resist last. Does it last for like the entirety of the battle square if you cast like resist in the very first combat? Does that, change things? Is the question. Yeah, let's go and get back to where the tiny bonko is. Technically we can go and pick it up now. We should be able to go and pick it up here for Ares here. And pick up the yeah. Because we do have the mithril. So go inside here. Big box or the small box? Very nice to know we have great gospel. I think we can actually get it in this town. I'm very certain we can get it in here. I am 100% certain. Yes. This one, right? So we need 99 here. 99 maidens gives your frog. 99 cornucopias. 99 softs. 99 hyper, 99 tranquilizer, 98 red. Sell 10 ethers. Yeah, an elixir is not worth anything, but we can also sell Phoenix Sounds. 99 potions. We're still 2,475. And nothing else. But the thing is, for example, that yes, you could equip like, for example, white cape instead of like equipping peace, or instead of equipping this. This of course helps you against slow, numb, petrify, and paralyzed, which is big, but you can still be frog small. So, for example, you could theoretically use the gold block, as I said, transform another effect, and that will protect you against minion toad or minion frog. You can of course also, for example, equip like time, and then you get protection against slow and stop. Which is big. Distract of course gives you against insta-death, but also only like 2 insta-death attacks. Like, it does not help you at all versus other things. But you can also, for example, distract, and there's some other things you can do with it. Okay. I want to have 3 Fury Rings actually. Because there are some interesting Fury Ring stats you can do in this game. Stuff that which are very interesting. Yeah, we don't need to have that yet. We can use that peace ring. So right, and now we put Ares into the party, we remove Barrett. And peace ring, we'll give her earring actually. So right, yeah, we cannot give her, we can only give her a few different things here. We can technically give her Poison Master, we can give her Gravity. Yeah, we can give her Gravity too. I think we actually... Beata, MP Absorb. Odin, HP Absorb. Titan Master. Armor Master. Ifrit Master. Shiva Master. Förstås hade Keys och Cost för Temple of Ancient. And Chocobo Master. So because these are summoned of course obviously, and then maybe give her Steel. One of our Master Steel, it doesn't matter which one. And bada bing, bada boom, of course. and I want to have things on her I want to have that is not mastered, basically, like things that still just to get leveled up. Because there are a few things that needed. Heal still needs to be leveled up. And effect, elemental. Manipulate is not done. Death blow was done. Throw is not done. Sense is not done. Fuse dancer is not done. Steal is done. Cover is done. Counterattack is not done. No, but we're gonna remove the counterattack because I don't want to have it in case she steals a kill. Long range though, because long range is not maxed out. And then we had and it was literally just all materials. Yeah. And so we take this one. She has a tillsammans Chocomob, Shiva, Ifrit, Ramu, Titan, Odin, and Kyoto down here. But you can see that there's a lot of slots here. Which means that this is Leviathan, this is Bahamut. So you know that's something. Right, and the goal is to go to what do we do? No, not over here. We need to go over here. Oh. I mean, there's 3 of them we can kill here, so you know, healing wind first actually, and then we use meteor and we kill. Because of course she needs to use healing wind, of course, so she can unlock the other stuff. Meteor. Damn it. Yeah, 5,400, that's the crit. That's the crit, yeah, that's, you know, that's... we'll see the game, good. Evil is actually pretty busted if you consider it as a level 1 limit break. Constrains and stops the medical opponent, so that's yes, it silences them, but it also has like a stop effect. But that stop effect is actually stronger than the stop like from like Chocomob, like it lasts like way longer. It's a very powerful stop effect. It's pretty funny. You can of course get the HP pluses and the MP pluses here. The MP pluses in particular might be useful. That's not that, but the main problem is of course that. Right, because Claude doesn't have it. Ares have it though. Thought we equipped Melody with a mug, but we didn't. Turbo is. So you can finish it off with your physical attack actually. Fucking 420 damage, and that's better. She doesn't have long range, right? This is that I don't have long range on her. Yeah, we did not give her long range. So what the heck is her attack power? Wait, how are you? You have 57 strength, but that is still 1-8 attack with 57 strength. Yeah, 113 magic. She has higher magic now than Claude has. And she's like considerably lower level. But that's of course because of like having like, how much is it extra from materia? It's 1 plus from Kuyata. It's 1 plus 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 plasmatic, or actually 17 plasmatic from this, and then there's a bunch of magic also from the Aurora Rod itself. There's something to remember, but yeah, the like the Maiden's Kiss and the cornucopia is really important because you can get minied, and get minied is worse than Toad. You can actually beat really tough enemies still by Toaded, but you won't be doing that much damage. But the main problem is if you get minied, you only did 1 damage and stuff that, which is like way too strong of a status effect and stuff that, yeah. And of course, the forest that they're talking about, that is Nibelheim, is actually after Nibelheim as a city. Stuff that's why we do this, and we used to do this. And it's not this forest right here, it's actually the higher up forest right here. This is the best forest to do the kill grind in. This is basically the limit breaker spot, pretty much, I would say. This is how I want to learn limit breaks that require kills, pretty much. This is the spot. Okay, we only got 4 of them, but yeah, it's a big debug enemy. And I believe they should die to a single Shockmog actually because of her magic stat being tracked. Because of having like, what was it, 110 magic? Makes sense. I got 800 HP, yeah, so am I gonna do 800 damage with Deathblow? Probably not. I mean, it's a little weak to fire and so also. No? Okay. That was so joke. Okay, you know, that's oh, and that's still a pretty decent amount of XP actually. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. And I know that there are some other encounters we can get here as well in this forest, but this forest is like insane. I think we got a primitive. It's nice. So come on. Fat Chocobo is gonna do. It's gonna deal 1,000 basically, and it's gonna be 1K. Yeah, you see 1,000. I do like 800-ish. So it's only slightly more damage, but here's the thing: about the higher magic stats go, the bigger the damage differential will be there from the Fat Chocobo. And the reason why we will have a very high chance to get Fat Chocobo due to, but also, for example, like if you get very high enough luck stat, then the Fat Chocobo will appear very often. Two fat dragons, you know what happens then? Dream of the living. Can we pause with every single hit? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's impossible to count, kinda. I know that there have been people that have managed to count, but they've had like slowdown features on their TV or whatever. Or they basically recorded it and then they slowed it down and stuff that, like that's one way you could count. You can even do that with VHS, I believe, like if you recorded footage on the VHS, because it was very easy, because usually the effect of the channel that you use when you play games, you know, where, you know. But I believe there is an encounter in this forest that is 5 and not just 4. Because 5 is of course the best that you can get in a single encounter. There is no encounter in the game where you get 6, I don't think. I don't know, characters that need way less kills anyway to get their limit break, you know, then it matters even more. Might be like, oh, why not use another character than Smelony, but that is because I really want to get Smelony to get to the thing. I thought about having Claude here equipped with cover, but, you know, or having Smelony equipped with cover, actually. Actually, let's do that, actually. She's the one covering people. Even though that is really, really going to be bad, but for example, like, the reason why we do that, for example, would be to just for her to get all the kills needed